Hey there, over the years I've had many people ask me about how I am able to predict trends in the financial markets, especially when it comes to multifamily. You know, so for example, if you've been following me for a while, you know that it's back in 2016, 2017, I talked about the coming demand and the continued demand that we would see from prospective residents, tenants wanting to rent apartments. And as we know as of today, and we're recording this in June of 2021, that is definitely the case. And when it comes to investor demand, I predicted investor demand a few years ago. And back in 2017, as a matter of fact, if you go back and watch some of my videos or listen to some of my podcasts, you're going to see evidence of that back as far back as 4 years ago. And another thing is interest rates. So I talked about interest rates and the direction that they would go. And here we are with historical low interest rates. So a question that I get, not surprisingly, from investors is, okay, how in the hell are you able to predict? I mean, where are you coming up with this? What are you using to really be able to accurately predict these things? And so after much demand, thousands of questions about this, I've decided to, as we used to say back in the day, spill the beans on exactly what I do and how I do it to be able to give you these predictions. This is like an advisory. What I'm about to share with you will be highly controversial, will be subject to much criticism, and could offend many people. So I want to give you that warning and that caution before you continue watching. So if you're in the least bit offended, you have self-esteem that's kind of, touchy, you may not want to continue watching, because now I'm going to give you the my top three go-tos on how I'm able to accurately predict the future in multifamily. Here we go. The first one is 8-ball. That's right, 8-ball. So I use the 8-ball as one of my go-tos in predicting the future of financial markets and in multifamily. Let's use a couple of examples, okay? Let's put on my glasses. I'm going to put the 8-ball down on the table. Will there be demand in 2022 from investors wanting and continuing to want to purchase multifamily property for record prices? What's the 8-ball say? As I see it, yes. There you go. I'll do one more. I should be charging for this, by the way. I should be charging you for what? Because I'm giving you this. Will interest rates go up in 2022 or at the end of 2021 into 2022? Will interest rates go up? You may rely on it. There you go. So the 8-ball has I've now shown you one of three tools. First tool is 8-ball. Okay? That's one of my major tools to show you the sophisticated ways and the sophisticated processes I go through in predicting multifamily trends and multifamily results. So that's number one. Let's now go to number two. Number 2 comes as a surprise to many people. It's my mood ring. That's right, my mood ring. I use my mood ring to tell me what is going to happen and give my predictions on the multifamily market. So let me give you a couple of examples. I've got the mood ring on now. Okay, here we go. Got a deep breath, get rid of some of that stress. Okay. Will multifamily investing continue to be the go-to investment for many investors over the next 2 or 3 years? Oh, the mood ring changed color. So that means yes. That means yes, it will be. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do another one here. Now it's important with mood rings, you gotta calm, quiet the mind, centered, focused. Deep breath. Will the current administration, the current government under President Biden, change real estate rules so that it will be more or less advantageous to own real estate in the coming years? Mood ring. Stayed the same color, that means yes, there will be changes coming from the current administration regarding the ownership of multifamily real estate. All right, we'll do one more. We'll do one more, okay? I hope you're writing these down, by the way. I hope you're writing these down and you're going to be making real decisions that could affect your financial future by what I'm telling you. Okay, here we go. Number 3. Will we be able to sell some of our multifamily holdings for record prices in the next 2 to 3 years? Mood ring color changed. The color changed. That means no, we will not be able to. Interesting. Interesting to know. So, I've now used the mood ring right here to give you unbelievably accurate predictions on what will happen in the multifamily market. We first started with 8-ball, then we followed up with mood ring. Now, a lot of times what happens when I do this, and I do this at least once a month, a lot of times when I do this, there can be conflicting information between the 8-ball. It might tell me one thing, okay, and my mood ring might tell me another, right? So what do? When that happens, and it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes the 8-ball and the mood ring will have conflicting points of information. It can be confusing. So what do I do when that happens? Well, I go to tool number 3, my game changer tool. The Ouija board. That's right, the game changer of game changers in making accurate financial predictions, especially when it comes to multifamily, is the Ouija board. All right, here we go. Of course, we've got the mover thing right there. Real great quality cardboard here, by the way. Super quality we've got. Only the best quality for tools that make such accurate predictions. I hope you're making note of that. So, here we go. Oh, spirits, hear me now. Will there be a flood of investment activity in multifamily over the next 5 years? Yes. Great. Oh, spirits, will multifamily continue to be the go-to investment for individual and institutional investors alike? Yes. So let's use a couple of questions that I asked the mood ring just to check. Will interest rates go up in the next year? Will they go up in the next year? Spirits, please. Please respond. No. No was the answer. Interesting. One more question. When it comes to owning multifamily property, will it be the top go-to investment over all investments, including stocks, bonds, mutual funds, over the coming 5-year period? The answer is no. The answer is no. So, wow, energy. I'm just drained. The energy from the 8 ball, from the mood ring, and from the Ouija board has just really drained me. You probably could feel it through the video, how drained I was when it came to using those 3 major tools of predictions. When it comes to not only predicting the financial markets, but how I accurately predict financial markets when it comes to multi-family real estate. Okay, in conclusion, let's have a little conversation. I had a little bit of fun there, didn't I? I had a little bit of fun there with you. And it's really interesting because a lot of times it makes a lot of sense to listen to experts. And I spend a lot of time studying, reading, and really trying to discover a lot of information that I think can be helpful, not only to my investors and my friends, but also, of course, to me personally. Why in the hell wouldn't I do that? So I do spend a lot of time doing that. And you know, when you go through that process, what you ultimately find is a lot of conflicting information. On one hand, you'll have one side of the story that's completely the opposite of the other side of the story, especially when it comes to investing, what you should be investing in, where you should be investing. A lot of times with multifamily, what kind of multifamily do you invest in? Is now a good time? Is it not a good time? All those kinds of things. You'll find completely conflicting information. That's why even sometimes, even using the 8 ball might even be more accurate than some of the predictions you hear. The old mood ring, and of course, you know, the go-to Ouija board, it could be almost as accurate as what a lot of experts might tell you. So here's my point. My point is, I get these questions a lot, and my standard pretty much go-to response is, you pretty much need to follow your gut in terms of trends, investing in multifamily, what in multifamily investments to get involved in. Do you invest in now? Do you invest in it later? Do you invest your IRA? Do you not invest your IRA, your 401k? All those kinds of things. You really got to go by what's best for you. When you look into your own personal future, you know, in the coming years, in terms of where you are at now financially, in terms of where you want to be, and how you want to use multifamily as a tool to help you make progress. And it's really putting that together and making the most informative decision that you can, and just pulling the trigger. Just pulling the trigger and making the decision and moving forward. And you know, you don't have to commit your entire net worth into it all at once. you can go ahead and start. Maybe you're an individual investor and you want to start with maybe a 4-unit property, an 8-unit property, a 12-unit property. Great. Maybe you want to be a passive investor and you want to start out by investing, just say $100,000 versus $500,000. You know, maybe you want to start out investing $500,000 versus, you know, $2 million. Whatever it is, there's a way to start. There's a way to pull the trigger. And really, at the end of the day, the only way you really know, the only way that you can find out if the 8-ball is right, if the mood ring is right, if the Ouija board is right, is by one simple thing, and that's experience. That's really how you're going to know. And you're not going to really find out by thinking about it, by reading about it, by watching videos about it, by continuing to percolate about it. Now don't get me wrong, it's important to do those things. You want to be informed and educated, but make sure you don't use that to replace taking action, pulling the trigger, and gaining that valuable experience. I hope this has kind of been fun for you. I hope you got something out of it and you enjoyed my sense of humor regarding this. And if you have any questions, you want to have a convo with me, or I appreciate you getting your feedback on this, I'd love to hear from you. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you. Bye-bye.